Okay, so this was our project last week when we left, and it has some wonderful, interesting stuff. When I double click on this task, it basically gets what? A reminder. And before that, we tried to implement delete, if you remember. If I click on this X, that actually it runs a filter and filters out the task. And the tasks are only two left. Okay, just remind me one more thing. That did we use React developer tools last week? Developer tools, did we install that? Did we install that? So again, I would like to show you something. You might be thinking, some people think that when I have removed all the tasks, so you see that no task to display. But when you go to your app.jsx, just for the matter, you'll find that, of course, physically they are not removed. You know what I mean? The tasks are there. Of course, they are not physically removed. And this is very obvious because, when we are working our project, we are actually working on the DOM, so to speak, which has everything. When we remove them, filtering is updating our state variable, which is tasks. And that tasks, when it gets updated, our tasks are visible on the screen according to that one. Now, if you just want to see and you are not convinced till now about that, and you want to say that, no, I want to see where this all is happening. So if I refresh, of course, it will bring all the tasks. And again, open up your components in our inspector. I like to keep it on the right now. If I open up the components here and I open up the tasks component, and you see that we have got three tasks over here. When I start deleting them from my UI, look at that. Look at that. Do you guys see that? If you want to see really where it is going, whether it is removed or not. Yes, actually the tasks state variable gets always updated. And when it gets updated, you see that I have just one task remaining with 0 ID, with whatever ID, day and March, whatever, right? So if you want to really convince yourself that yes, something is being deleted, you can just go and look at this number. And isn't that very interesting? We can just find out the status of the component, what is going on, what are the props to it, and everything. Okay, so now fun stuff. We have just done a wonderful thing by changing that. So let's come back to our function that was doing this, and the function that was doing this was this toggle reminder. I'd like to just little bit quickly talk about that. This toggle reminder calls the set tasks, calls the map function. On every value, we have to implement something. On every value, take one task at a time and check if the ID in this task, which we are considering, is equal to the ID which has been passed to the toggle reminder. If they match, wherever they match, do what? Spread the task, go to the reminder and flip it. Flip from what? Whatever task reminder is, flip it from that. If it is true, make it false. If it is false. And remember, maybe I made a mistake over here. I put a empty string over here. So what was happening? That the task which was under consideration was getting the flipping, but the other tasks were gone. You know why? Because they were all replaced with a normal string, right? But of course, we want that if that does not match, you have to do what? The return the original task, because task has to come back. Make sense? This was the reminder that we have done. Now today we are starting something really cool. What is that? We have talked about deletion. We have talked about toggling. Today we'll start talking about adding a new task. We have not talked about adding a new task. So now to add a new task, let's first of all do something important. Go to the components and make a new file and call it add task.jsx. Add task.jsx. And you'll open that one, add task.jsx. Let's create that, and we want to see that while developing. So we want to RAFCE. We have got the task here ready. Now what we'll do, let's keep it, default, add task. Now I want to bring it on my app. So what I'll do, you guys remember the steps. Step number 1, I'll go to my app and do what? Import. And I would say import add task from component/add task, right? Step by step, let's go. Step number 1, I've imported that. Now, where I want to show it, I'll show you. Let me just close this all method so that we have one-liner methods. Here, after the header, I want to show it here. So let's call it add task here. And I'll show you running so that you can see what is happening. So if I hit save here, Control S, look at that, add task is now visible. And again, we'll have to actually develop it. That's why I just, bring it, because we have to make a form over here and we want to look at the form, directly. Is it everyone? The task is here, but add task is now available. So whatever I will do, I will be able to see this over here so that I can develop. Now, this add task actually works on what? Let's talk about that. This add task will actually not return a div, rather it will return a form. Make sense, everyone? It will return a form. In this form, let's create 3 divs. And I'm just doing directly 3 divs. In the form, create 3 divs. I am inside the first div now. In the first div, I'll first of all give a label. And I would say, for example, task, the label task, right? And do you guys see something here? I just want to very quickly discuss HTML for. Do you remember it used to be in normal HTML, it used to be for. Remember label for equal to, and we used to give the ID of the input box and it used to be connected with that one. So since we are writing what? We are not writing normal HTML, we are writing what? JSX. So JSX says that don't use for. And there is a very logical reason behind that. Can someone tell me what is the reason? Why can't I just use for? Rather, I have to use HTML for. Why JavaScript is compelling me to do that? Anyone? There's a very logical reason behind that. Why not just for HTML for rather? Yes. That's exactly the answer. Actually, for is a reserved word in JavaScript. Do you know we have a for loop code there? For IC. So JavaScript says because you are writing JSX where you will be writing JavaScript and HTML. So whatever. Remember class name? Yeah. You remember class name? Why do we have to write class name? Though it boils down to class in HTML. But here I have to write sorry? I'll do that. Is it good? Okay. So do you guys understand what I'm saying? So remember that HTML for, which I'm not using right now, but I was just telling you. These are the two you have to remember. HTML for and class name. They are most widely used. And another thing, if I ask you, the CSS changes into what? Camel case. Remember? Background color becomes background with, with small and capital letters. Okay. Now let's come back over here. So I have a label and I don't want to maybe give a for here, but I just introduced you what is this for. You need to remember that. Okay. And after that, I want to create an input type is input box. So I'll say input type is equal to text. And I want to give a placeholder here as well. Remember placeholder? Enter the task here or the title of the task, whatever you write that, right? So first div is done. Come to the second div. Let's create another label. And again, no need for HTML for. And here, this label is for day and time, for example. Day and time, you see that we can live see that our form is creating. After that, I'll come here and I'll say input type is equal to text. And let's put a placeholder here as well. Placeholder is equal to enter the day and time here. Day and time here. See here, we have got the input box as well, the second input box. Last but not least, last div will have reminder. So I'll write, first of all, label, no for, and I would say reminder. And in front of reminder, I would not create type text box. Rather, I'll create checkbox. Type is equal to checkbox. Checkbox. So we have got a checkbox as well over there. Now last, after the div, third div, I'll come here and I'll just create a submit button here. Input type is equal to submit, a submit button. And you guys remember that if I give a class, just so the button looks a little better. So I just give it a class of BTN. Remember class name. We have got this BTN class, BTN. All right, let's do some styling for this form, right? Let's do some styling. So first, I would like to attach a class. Maybe I'll call it add dash form. Add form. And do you guys remember that where we are writing our styles? Do you remember that one? Index.css. Remember? So I will go to index.css and I would like to write my styles there. So I'll open index.css. Here I have created add form. So I'll just write add dash form. Right? And no, I don't want it to flex because, I want a border here, first of all. 1 pixel, solid, black border around the form. And, once you get the border, you get the better idea what's going on, right? So I'll just come here and I'll say, for example, padding. Let's apply a padding of 20 pixel on each side so that things becomes a little bit breathier. Things are now better. Right. Let's give it a border radius as well. 5 pixel. So that it starts looking a little bit better. Now, yes. So first styling be given to the form. Now, let's come back to, so just add form. I've just given border, padding, and border radius, right? So my form has started to look a little bit better, but these things are very jammed with each other. We'll handle that. Now let's come back over here and let's use a little shortcut here. I want to apply a class of form control to all these 3 divs. So what I'll do you guys remember the shortcut? I'll come and click on this div, press and hold Alt, and click on all 3 divs. Press and hold Alt. Do you see that my cursor is blinking now 3 places? Because I have to add the same class to 3 places, right? So I'll give a space, right? And I say class name is equal to, for example, I would say form control. Class name is equal to form control. Do you see that? I have typed it 3 places, right? Form dash control. So this class, let's start styling that one. Form control, form dash control. I'll come here and I'll say dot form dash control. Now, the first thing I would like to give is 20 pixel top and bottom, and maybe 0 from left and right. Let's give it a margin. You see that? So that they are, every form control has a 20 pixel margin on top and bottom, and 0 left and right. So they are left and right, they are just very near to each other. Now, we have label in every form control. So I'll come here and I'll say form control inside that label. And if you guys remember that, if we make display block of this label will be a block now, right? Display block. I want to make it a block. And you guys remember that, CSS. If you make it the block, it means it's all block. You can make it inline. Any block element as inline. This will become inline. Or you can make it inline block. Remember inline dash block? That actually makes a mix of both properties. You can apply some of these stylings and everything on the inline block. Here, I just wanted to have that block. I've just made that block, right? Now let's work on this input box of every form control. Form control input. So we have input box inside form control. Like for the form control classes, we have one input box there. Let's make their width 100% so that they occupy all the page, maybe. Let's make their height 30 pixel, a little, little better. Let's apply a margining of 5 pixel on all sides. So they are a little bit away from the label as well. And let's apply a padding as well. Padding does not look good. So I'll say 3 pixel left and right and 7 pixel top and bottom, or 7 or 6 pixel, whatever, 6 pixel. See that the text inside looks a little better now. They seem good, but what I want is that I want task and daytime to be above, but reminder and this checkbox should come in one line, right? So let's do an interesting thing. Let's go back here. And on the checkbox class, let's apply another class and maybe call it check, for example. So, we can apply 2 classes. Remember, we have done that. We can apply 2 classes. So I've just given a class of check that I'll create for it, because I want, reminder and that both to be in the one line, right? So let's come and create a check class over here. And how would I create that? I'll create like this, dot form control dot check. So check is one class that is only applied to the div, which has reminder, right? You get it? Now I'll make its display flex. You see that what will be benefit? They will come in one line, reminder and its checkbox, like label and its checkbox. Yes. Sorry? Oh, that's a wonderful question. He says that I could have used directly dot check over here. But what I've done, I have just, made it as a sort of child of this form control. You are right. If you just write dot check, it will be fine. But I just tried to make it a child, but you can do that one as well. Yes, right. Okay. Now, so align items. I want to align the items on the center. Look at that. So they will come in one center, right? The reminder and checkbox, they are now in a perfect center. And let's make a justify content. And let's say space between, apply that space between. Right. And now here still checkbox is over here. So what I, 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 what I can do, see here, I can say dot form control. dot check has a label. And do you guys remember flex 1? If I say flex 1, I'm saying that label should occupy the equal space or maximum space, right? In input, I would like to maybe change the font size as well, just to make it a little bit better. Font size. I've gone to input, right? Font size. And I would say 17 pixel, for example. Let's see. That looks better, right? So I've changed the font size in the input as well. Right. So we have done that one. And for the time being, let's keep it like this. We have got some form over here. Now here is a very important point that so form is almost done. We have got ready. If I just refresh that, you will know that our appointment and everything will come up and the form is coming on the top because we have created this form, right? Right. Now I would like all of you to just look at a very interesting stuff. Do you know this add task is visible right now? I don't want it to be visible every time. I just want this form. Look at that. I just want this form to be available when I click on this add button and not always. Are you guys getting that one? I'm telling you purpose that then I'll do that so you will understand what is happening. I don't want this form to be, you see that it looks odd right now. Whenever I need to add something, I will click on add and the form should appear. But if I don't need to add anything, why is it just showing this form? You see that my task have gone on the down. Now see how I will achieve that. So you see that this is the add task over here. Do you remember we have done? We actually did something with the remember with the task. What we did over there? Do you guys remember that? We said that check the length if it is greater than 0, then show the tasks. Otherwise, show no task to display. Do you remember that one? Somehow, same ways, if I can program over here and do something that makes it disappear or appear, by the way. I want to do that. Do you guys understand that? For that, see what I'm doing. First step. Like by step, I mean, I will go to the top and where I've defined my state variables. I'll define a state variable and I'll call it show add task. Set show add task. So remember, state variables are made like that. So if I say use state and I make it false. Now look at that. I've just created one variable. And remember, this will be a game changer now for our program. We have just defined one state variable. And please be mindful that we are defining all state variables. And why? Whenever they change, they will be changed all over the application everywhere, right? Okay. So I've defined the variable show add task, set show add task. We know that two things come together and false. I've given a value of false. It's a Boolean variable, Boolean state variable. Make sense? Now let's do a little programming here. Let's come back to this tasks. Whenever you have to do programming, you will have to put what? A curly bracket around that. Make sense? Make a curly bracket around that. Because now I want to conditionally show this add task. Make sense? Conditionally show that add task. And here, I will use a new operator that might be new for you, but this is very easy to understand. I say check show add task. If show add task is true, then show this add task. Are you guys getting that one? I want to do that. Show add task is what? I've just defined a variable on the top. Right? So you guys are typing, First, you can listen that if you type together, it will be difficult for you to understand. Now I'm saying show add task. If it is true, then show add task. If it is false, then do not show add task. Are you guys getting that one? And this show add task I've defined on the top. I've just defined on the top. Now see here, there's another very interesting. We can use the ternary operator as well, but we have another interesting operator. And add. And what does it do? It actually does what? It says, it's literally, you can read that. If show add task is true, then show add task. If it is false, then do not show that. Are you guys getting that one? And those who are familiar with programming, you remember this is actually AND, logical AND operator. So it's actually exactly not logical AND operator. Here it is called conditional rendering. Conditional rendering. You know, you can read it like this. If show at task is true, then show that. If it is false, then do not show that. Do you guys make sense of it? Now as you hit save, look at that. The font disappears. You see the font is not there anymore. You guys see that? Now you can type this much, you know, those who are type show at task and add task. Try to do that, you know. And do you see that form is no more here? You know how form will come back? Anyone? If I go on the top and make show at task equal to true, I make it false. Make sense? Let's do that. By the time you guys are typing, see here, if I come here and I do a real interesting thing, a little interesting thing, I say true and I hit save. Look at that. This form appears. Oh, so you were trying to type that one. So look at that. Do you guys understand this little and operator? It's very interesting. And we use that in React a lot of time because we get into situations a lot of time where you have one thing and depending on this, you have to have the other thing. You know what I mean? So that is the thing. So it's quite interesting. If I come here, and again, if I just come here and I make it false, look at that. Have I started toggling my form as well by looking at one variable? Now, who will tell me what will be my next step? Can I somehow pass or can I somehow access this show at task button on this click of this button? And on the click of this button, I make it true or false. Flipping. So will I be able to show the form and flip the form? You guys getting that one? Do you understand? And now tell me where this button is residing in which component? Does anyone remember now? Sorry? Header. It is in header. Remember? Header has the title and header has one button. Remember everyone? Now I'm about to do that. So it means, listen, let's solve it before solving it. It means if I somehow pass my show at task to my header component has a button. If on the click of that, I apply that function and that function changes show at task, so form will be either coming or going back. Are you guys getting that one? So just to understand. Now, how I will do that? Look at that. How I'll do that. Now see here. I come to my header where I'm calling header, which is just accepting title. I say, while you call header, I have a props to send here. I have a prop to send, a property to send. Do you guys understand? With the name of what? onAdd. Make sense? Now, this prop does nothing, but this prop is a callback function. And this callback function is doing what? It is accessing show at task. Make sense? And just flipping up the reminder. Oh, not reminder. Am I writing show at task is correct? No? Yes. Show at task? Let's check that one. Whatever is in the show at task, just flip it around, right? Look at that. Do you guys understand? I'm sending a function with the name of onAdd prop. Now, do you see that this is a function? And what this function is doing? It is just doing what? Calling the show at task, set show at task, and whatever is in the show at task. It is just doing what? Flip, not. If it is true, make it false. And if it is false, make it not, right? Now, let's see. Let's see. First of all, I've passed this as a prop to that one. Now, do I need to catch this prop in header? Of course, yes. I'll have to go where? In my header component now. I'll go to header component. Look at that. Do I need to write it over here with the title? Remember? onAdd. I've passed the props with the name of what? onAdd. onAdd is a function, remember? Now, interestingly, here this button is not the original button. Rather, it is also what? A component. You can see that it's a green color component. Actually, the button is coming from this component. So it means ultimately I have to transport this function from here to the button as well. Make sense, everyone? To the button. So I can use any name. I'm using the same name, but I hope you guys now remember that one. If I say on add is equal to on add. Do you guys understand that one? And again, if I ask you this vague question, can I change this or this? Which of them I can just change the name here? Can I change this one or that one? Like the first or second? First one I can change it anything because it's a prompt. But second one is what? Second one is the original value, and value is coming from here. So I cannot change that. Make sense, everyone? I just keep on reminding you so that you know that what's good because they have the same name. Now, what is the next step, anyone?
You're going to
Go to the button.
We'll have to go to the button. And in the button, we have to catch this on add, right? Let's go to the button. Let's go to the button. I'll have to open the button. Let's open the button.jsx. And here, I will catch that. And I would say on add, right? Now, on add is here. Last step. Now I have a button. Do I have an on click event for that one? Yes. For the button, I have. Right. So come here. And now see. I come here and I say on click of this button. So you see here, on click equal to curly brackets. What should I write here? On add. Are you guys getting that one? Now see here. If we have done everything correct, look at that, what will happen? Is that making sense? It's still, we are about to do something that really good, but do you guys understand this much? What we have done, I'll tell you. We passed from app a function which was flipping the show add task. So that function was transported to header. Header received that. Header had another component being called button. It passed that on add with the name of, with this here. Here I just said, okay, on click, just call that method. So that method is doing actually what? You know what it's doing? It's going into my app and changing the values of show add task. And whenever the value of show add task changes, my form either comes or not comes. Sense everyone? Are you guys happy with me? Is it good? Wonderful. I'm about to show you something that will really make it more cool. Now, I go back to app. Go back to app component now. Now look at that. Now listen, this is very interesting. This one, this add task is actually depending upon show add task. So can you correct me? Correct me, or do you follow me? Whenever it is true, add task is visible. Whenever it is false, add task is not visible. Is that right? I'm repeating that because I want to take something from here. Whenever this show add task is true, the form is visible. Whenever this is false, the form is, and right now what is this? It is right now false. And how I'm handling that? I just pass a function over here that is coming into this app and just literally changing the show add task value, flipping the show add task value. Make sense, everyone? Now, if somehow, listen, if somehow I can pass this show add task, which is right now, can you tell me what is the value of show add task right now? False. Wonderful. Somehow, if I can transport this value of show add task as a prompt to the header, you know what I'm trying to say? So if I transport it right now, so when it comes here, it knows that right now it is false. So listen, I'm first of all telling you orderly and then we'll do that. So this button component will say, okay, since show add task is the false value that I've received. So what I do, I will have, it means false means I am right now. So I will have a green color and I will have a text of add. But if the show add task comes up as a true, for example, so I will change my color from green to red and my text will change from open, from add to close. Are you guys getting what I'm saying? Now see, how you could do that? So when you get what I said, that somehow we want to send this variable from here. Now come back here and see. I'll come here and I'll say show add. equal to show add task. Now, how many of you understand this one? I have passed to the header component, I've just passed this show add task with the name of what? Now again, if I ask that silly question, which one I can change? Of course, I've just called it show add. But this is going as a prop to the header component. Are you guys getting that one? You are about to experience something really cool. So now it means that not only I'm passing the function that changes the show add task, I'm passing the show add task itself as well. Make sense? Now, come to the header. In the header, I'll have to do a little programming. Do you see that? On the button. Button says text is equal to add and color is equal to green. Now I want to do something. I will remove this add from here. Don't type it. Just look at that. And once you understand that, then you will be able to. So instead of showing the add, if I come here and I put a curly bracket. Oh, I've missed the first step. Can someone remind me? I'm missing one very important step. I have to bring it as a prop. I have to catch it as a prop on the top. Remember everyone? I have not done that. So what should I do? I'll check, come here. And what is the name? Do you guys remember that one? Show add. I just call it show add. Remember? Wonderful. Now just come here. So I'll say, if show add is like, check the show add. If show add is true, it means the form is visible. So text should be close. And if it is false, text should be add. Now this will really blow you away. Now, right now, you see what we have done? I said show add is received. There is a Boolean variable received. Go and check that. If it is true, the title should be what? Close. If it is false, the title should be, and what is the title right now? It means it is false right now. Now, come here and click on this button. See that? Now it is changed from add to close, because now the condition says if show add task is true, it means form is visible. So there's no more talks of add. Now it's close me, like I want to close the form. Is that making sense? Now, can I ask you something? Can you guys try to change this color as well? Whenever, like for example, right now the color should be red. Whenever the add task is true, the color of the button should be red. And whenever the add task is false, show add task is false, the color should be green. Can you guys try that one over here? Very quickly. And I'll tell you the solution, but it's exactly almost the same that we have done. You have to just change the colors of things like that. Can anyone try that out? Huh? Oh, is it changing the colors? Can you try that? Yeah. Has anyone done that? Done? Okay. Is it changing the colors? Yes. Wonderful. Click on that. Wonderful. Close, and close comes in red color. Close should become red color. Like text should be closed and color should be red. Right? And you can take help from the text part, because text part is also exactly doing the same thing. Have you done that? Yeah, you sure? Click on the button. Wonderful. Do you see that? How dynamic it has become now? So it's just one variable changing whole look of the thing. Button is changing, and here is another benefit of making the button class. Remember? So we have a button class, we are just passing the parameters from here. We're just saying, okay, pass text is equal to pass is closed if it is true, and false if it is in the same way. Now, if you guys have tried, some people have already done that, but I'll just come here. And what I'll do, I'll remove this green from here, put a curly bracket, and I would say check the show add. If it is true, it means color should be red. And if it is false, the color should be green. Now look at that. You can see that it's getting red or green, depending upon our product. Yeah. From the from the CSS, if you want to change the state, it's actually we are changing the CSS value. Because remember, button actually receives them and applies them in the CSS. But this is the dynamic thing that you are doing through the programming. If you want to go in CSS and do that, it's actually straight of CSS, but using the dynamic program, you dynamically set something and it changes the color or changes something, right? Okay. Now this was something related to UI, and now we are about to touch it with more, depth of the topic. We'll talk about that. Is that good with everyone? Now, so it's becoming really cool. The project is becoming really nice now. We have got some nice effects here. I can just hide the form. I can bring the form, and I can do a lot of interesting things. Now here comes the concept with this form, because we want to work with this form. And to work with this form, I would like to again go back, and I'll just maybe close rest of them because I don't need them right now. I'll go to my add task button, add task component, and I'd like to show you something very interesting. So this form, we are taking 3 inputs. You can see that title, day, and then the reminder. Makes sense, everyone? We are taking 3 inputs. Actually, after taking these 3 inputs, we have to somehow pass them to our app component where our tasks are there, and those 3 will go and become the task, part of the task. Do you guys remember that one? Actually, that is the ultimate purpose over here. Now listen, I would like everyone to just stop typing and listen this one, and then move to typing. Now listen, whenever you have a form in React and you want to collect its data and you want to use it again to send it to the app, do whatever. For that, what we do, on that component, we try to create the state variables of as many as fields we have. And in those state variables, we try to save whatever user types. Are you guys getting that one? So effectively, I'm about to tell you in React, whenever there is a form, how to capture the input from the user and store it in the state variable. State variable? I'll show you in the components. How does it happen? Now, to do that, 1, 2, 3. We have got 3 fields. I would like to define 3 state variables. What will be the first step? I need to import use state first of all. Are you guys getting that one? Why I'm doing that? I want to capture the input of the user and I want to pass them in a state variable. Why? Because ultimately I have to pass that back to the app, where app will be taking care of adding to the tasks where the tasks are there. Make sense, everyone? Now, let's do the first step. Step number 1. Everyone, let's do the step number 1. Come here and do import. Import, and you say use state from React. Import use state from React. Now I'll come here and see here what I'm doing. And it should be const, I would say, for example, title, set title equal to use state. And I would take empty title right now. Const day, set day equal to use state, empty. Const reminder, set reminder equal to use state and false because it's Boolean. Do you guys understand why I have defined these 3 state variables? Their name suggests. Actually, we will be taking the values from them and trying to pass them. Now, here is a very important point. I have 3 state variables: title, day, and reminder. What I want when user enters the title here, this title should become the value of this title. Are you guys getting that one? When user enters the day and time over here, the string that user is entering should become the value of day. Are you guys getting that one? Whatever user checks or unchecks the reminder, should become the value of this reminder, which is of Boolean variable, yes or no. Make sense, everyone? Now, how would I do that? Now, every input box, every input field comes up with another very interesting event. You remember we have just talked about on click and on double click. We have not talked about anything else. We are talking about another event today, and that is called on change. It's called on change. Now come here. See here what we are doing. I come here and I say on change. Whenever on change happens, you have to run a function. Is understanding that one? Whenever on change means whenever someone will come here and start typing, they are changing, you know, and whenever this change will happen, this function will run. Make sense? Now, here is an interesting part. You remember whenever this function will be activated, it would have an event inside that. Do you guys remember events? E.clientX, client Y, remember everyone? So it has an event over here. So do what? This function will do what? It will call set title. And see here, from the event, go to the target and get the value. I'll show you. Whenever the change happens, user comes and start typing. Do what? Whenever this will happen, an event will be generated. And you know, event has a very important attribute target. Do you guys remember what was the target? Target is that specifically which element you are working on. Remember which element you are clicking on. Do you guys remember when we were implementing the delete in our library project? So you remember we were trying to find out where user has clicked. So we were finding out target, e.target. So go to this dot target where event has happened, and whatever value is there, set it to the set title. Wonderful. Do you understand what it is doing? By the time I will be typing in the text box, it will be going there and it will be storing that in my title variable, which is a state variable. Are you guys getting that one? Title state. Now let's implement on all three, and then I will show you in the component. You'll practically see it happening, right? Now let's do that. Come here, on change here. So I'll say on change equal to, I want to run a function. This function will have an event, and this function will do what? It will call, what should be here? Set day, and it will go there, find out the target and the value, and it will store that over here. Make sense, everyone? On change, we have implemented two elements on change, and you know what we are doing effectively? Collect the data and store in state variable. Is that what we mean? Collect the data and store in state variable. Now the last but not least, which is reminder. So I'll come here, but reminder has a little difference. I'll tell you. On change of this text box equal to curly brackets, call a callback function, which will have an event. And now here, set reminder. But here, instead of target, it is e.current target and its value checked. Make sense, everyone? This is little because it's checkbox or radio button. They will have a current target and then dot check, not dot value, because it's checked or unchecked, right? The dot check, the boolean value. Yeah, boolean. Now listen, if we have done that rightly, I will show you that in component. You know, we can see that in the components happening. Now let's come back over here, and I'll make it bigger, and I'll show you something. If I come here and I open my inspector, and I open my components here, and I am in add task. So I'll open add task. Look at that. Add task is here. I come to the first text box and I say something. Do you guys see something somewhere? Right? If I come in the next one and I say March 2025, do you see March 2025 somewhere? If I come and click on this checked, do you see true somewhere? So, do you guys know we have done a wonderful, successful thing over here? What we have done? We have captured the values from this form into our state variables. I guess getting that one? So we have got the data ready over here. Make sense? Now, This was all we had to do with the add task, and we will be working with the add task again. But actually where it will be all happening, it will be happening all in the app again. Remember, we do everything in the our hub, which is app. Now, let's park this one for a side. We have got the form and everything ready here, but let's park it for a side and let's go to the app component for a second. Let's go to the app component. Remember, in app, we have done toggle reminder and we have done delete. And now what we are doing? We are doing adding a task, add a task, right? So we want to create a function with the add a task, right? So let's say const add task equal to arrow function, and see here. And now you know that it will receive a task. And again, here, let's just console something. Console.log task. And again, you know that actually it will not console that. It has to actually add that. But we are just, testing our function first of all. On its name is add task, and it is just consoling right now. What it receives a task and console that, right? Nothing else. Now, can you tell me which component? I'll show you. Which component should I pass this add task function? Should it be header? Should it be tasks? Whatever. Where should I pass this add task component? To the add task. Its name suggests, right? Because it is what? Add task. And it will be happening in the task component. Now see here. Let's come to the add task. And where is the add task? It is here. So I'll come here and I'll say, let's call it on add. And can I write over here? Add task. Are you guys getting that one? On add task. Everyone got it? Should we move forward? Because we are about to do something little different in our. Now go to the add task. First thing first. What is that? Catch that. Because there's no props here. So catch this prop. And what is the name? On add. I've called it with the on add. So on add is here. And on add is a function. Do you guys remember that one? On add is a function. Now here, see here, we have a form. We have a form. Now what we'll do? We'll come here and we will we'll create a function here on submit. Yes. I'm just coming to you. I'm just making a function over here and I'm saying on submit, and here I'm calling on add. You know what I'm doing? I'll tell you why I've just created a new function. So actually I'm calling this on add function, which has been passed here, but I've created another function and I'll tell you why I've created. First, let me see its problem. Yes. Yeah. You want from there. Go back. I'll tell you what's happening. I'll just go back. Right? That was those things. Yeah, that was in the break. Okay, now listen. This is an on submit function, and remember, every form, we are talking about new events today. Every form has a by default action or event attached with it, and it is called on submit. You know what I'm saying? See here. First see here and then you do that. So I'm saying effectively that on submit of this form, call a function. And should I write on submit? Do you guys what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Whenever this form will be submitted, user will say submit. This function will be called. And where is this function? Here. And what this function is doing actually, it is calling what? On add, which will behave abnormally right now, but you understand the hierarchy over here. Forms on submit, I'm calling a function on submit, and this on submit is this function which is on the top, which is ultimately adding what? I'm calling what? Add. And you might be thinking, why I have to create this new one? I'll tell you there is a very important reason behind that, why I have just created a new function over here. But right now, just understand, okay, we have created a function, right? Now, let's see that it is working or not. And I was consoling something there, so I'll just check that one. If I come here, I have already the values over here. If I open the inspector and open the console, and if I click on submit, you see that I get what? Undefined. It means, first of all, it means function is working. Why? Because it's showing undefined. And yeah, why it is showing undefined? Because on add or add task was actually looking for a task. Did I pass that task over here? No. Now, see here, I'll show you. Actually, this on add, which is add task over here. Was it looking for a task over here? You see that? And let's do something interesting here. If I just come here, I say add task here, and I close that and I just print that one. Now see that. If I come here and I add a form and I add something here and I click on submit. Oh, my console is not open. If I click on submit, look at that. Do you guys understand that one? It means function is working, and of course it shows what? Undefined, because I'm not passed anything. Make sense, everyone? And now, who will tell me how can I pass the entered task from the user to this function? You know what my question? I'll repeat that. How can I pass those three values that user has entered back into that one and it's shown? Now see here. Look at the code and try to guess that one. Look at that. Look at the code. So here in the add task, can you tell me, can I pass here the task over here just to see the task over there? How can I pass the task over here? Anyone? While user enters the value, where they go and stored, where they are going, stored. Do you know where they are stored? Where is the title, day, and reminder are stored? I just showed you the state values. Title is stored in what? Do you guys remember? When I enter something, it goes in the title. Day go into the day. Reminder goes into the reminder. Remember everyone? So what is happening? These three. So if I just come here and look at that. If I just come here and I write curly brackets and I write title, comma, day, comma, reminder. Are you guys understanding what is happening? I'm passing the task over here. And the task, where did I get this task? I got it from the state variables. And where did the state variables got these values? While we input, we input that and they have just all captured over here. Now, let's see what change it makes to my code. If I add and if I enter something, ABC, whatever, checkbox, and I submit. Look at that. Do you guys see that? The task is coming up over here, add task here, and title, whatever, day, whatever, reminder is true. Is getting that one? It means we have successfully sent back the task, and the task is now visible. And now this function is running my app, and it is showing the task. Yes. You have a problem? No. Oh, that's wonderful. So, how many of you are having this problem as Vivek is having? The problem might be that things start to appear, then disappear quickly. You are having that? A lot of people will be having this problem. Like me, it is staying, the output is staying, but for some of you, like Vivek, it does not stay. So remember, do you guys remember that there was a solution to that one? And if you don't remember, I'll show you. You go to this on submit and pass an event here. And how many of you remember? Remember e dot prevent default. And we all do it, regardless we are getting an error or not. Prevent default. Now, Wang, do that and then check that one. So let's clean that. And I add a task. ABC, checkbox. Look at that. Now you should see the output. Do you guys see the output now? Like this? Okay. So why did you ask? We're trying to follow, I think, right? So where you are stuck right now?
I haven't just entities, but I haven't written the headers part.
Okay, are you guys getting that one? So we have successfully achieved and the task is coming back. Now, what is the next step? What is the next step? Now let's see that. Let's come back over here. And do you see that in my app, this function actually does not have to console. Remember, console is just for the testing purpose. Comment it out. What it will do? Anyone remembers that? What it will do? It will call set tasks. Yes. And what should it do? I have got the multiple tasks over. Oh, okay. Someone might be thinking, is it possible like this? If I say tasks dot push task, is that something that might be a possible solution over here? Because we have got the task variable on the top and task array, by the way, tasks array. So go there and push this task into that one. But can I do this over here? I have a question. Can I do this over here? Yes or no? Those who remember between the state variable and normal variable difference. So the task variable on the top, remember, this task variable on the top, it's not a normal variable. Rather, what it is? See that? State variable. And you remember, whenever you have to make a change in state variable, you cannot do that by using normal method, dot push or something. Are you guys getting that one? Rather, we need to call what? Anyone? If I need to make change in the state, the tasks, what should I need? What do I need to use? I need to use this set tasks. Are you guys getting that one? Now let's come back here and do that. In this function, what I'll do in the add function, I'll say call set tasks. Now here I would like your help, a little bit of help. Set tasks. Now we have got already some tasks over there. You guys understand that one? So I will say square brackets, like we have an array. So I will say I have few tasks already. So dot tasks, comma. Now, do I need, so tasks are there. So do I need to add this particular task which we have right now? Do I need to add that over there? Make sense? But there is an issue. Listen, if you go to tasks, do you see the tasks have 4 fields? How many fields? 4 properties. And what are those? ID, text, day, and reminder. Make sense? ID, text, day, and reminder. Okay, I might have made a mistake, but I'll correct that. But now see, so I get the input from in the whatever task was the title. In title I got that. In day I got it, and I got it in reminder. Make sense, everyone? I got these 3. But did I get ID from there? No. And there is no way the ID could be created by itself. So first of all, let's see. First of all, what thing I will do? Because the task is coming up, but the task does not have an ID. So what I'll do? See here, const ID is equal to, you remember that I can just use math.floor, the same technique, math.random. Make sense? And let's create a random number between 1000, for example. Can that become an ID for my new for my task? Make sense? Yes. Sorry? Yeah. No. When you are taking input from the user, you're not taking, so you want to take the ID from the user over there. But that will be a problem, because how user will know that what ID I have to enter. Actually, ID is something that database itself creates. That's something as a programmer, we create for that. Because you want to make it unique. If you leave it on the user, do you understand that user will be entering anything at all? So it's never a good idea to leave ID for the user. You know what I mean? That's another very wonderful answer. Why can't we use the lengths of that one? But for that you will have to do a little bit of extra programming because length also goes to 0. When the length will go to 0, what will happen? It might, produce that. So you are right, and you can do that. But right now, I've just produced that ID, and I'll come back to your question. By the way, it's a very good question. Now see here, I produced that. Now I'll create an updated task over here because, or maybe new task, I should call it new task. And you know why I'm creating that? New task is equal to. Now see here, I'll say take the ID and add it with the task, the current task in observation. How many of you guys understand that one? I have received the task. Remember, task is coming from the from my add task component. I receive that and I say produce an ID. And before that task, just go and embed that ID. Do you guys remember? Spread the task. You remember? And add this one. We used to change things. Remember? We used to say dot 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 task and reminder should be not reminder. But here what you are saying? You are saying embed this add to the dot 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 task. So now this new task is the ready task that is available to go into the array. Make sense? Now see here. What we do? So we'll call set tasks and see here. So what I'll do, I'll open up and look at that. What I'll do, I'll say go and spread out all the tasks and just add this new task at the end. As we added ID in the beginning before, and now we are adding the task at the end of the array. That was object. Here it is an array. It makes sense? Now let's do that and hit save. Yes. Sorry? Okay. Yes, sure. I want you to be with me. Look at that. I have called this on submit here in the form. Because it's an event attached to the form. Whenever you submit the form, this event will be fired. Sorry? On add. On add is coming as a prop to this from app.jsx. And this on add is actually this add task that we are working on. See here, I'll show you. It's here. In the header, I have just, add task. Look at that. I've called this over here. Pass this as the props. Make sense, Kash? I think you might have missed a step over here and there. Just allow me to complete that. I'll come to you and I'll correct you. Now see here what I've done. I have just done this task has been added. It should be added now. Let's come back here. Let's close this. I'm not doing that anymore. So I have 3 tasks right now. I come here. I say ABC and reminder. Click on submit. Look at that. I don't see the title. And I don't see the title. I was forgetting that I've done a mistake. What is the mistake? Does anyone remember? The fields are ID, text, day, and reminder. And if you remember what I've done, I have just made it title. Remember? So let's come here and make it text. Text and set text. Are you guys getting that one? So let's change this one because I remember that I had made a mistake. And where I need to change more here. Text I have to pass and here as well. Where else? Here, set text, right? Now let's see that. I refresh that and I open a form. I enter something, check. See here. Do you see that? Now, if you want to correct, I can just open the code. But do you guys see that? Now we have got our new task being added here. And you keep on adding that, it will just keep on flowing and it will just keep on adding the tasks. Now, can I have a very quick feedback? How many of you are successfully able to follow along with this one and able to see that adding? Maybe a lot of people have left behind. So I'll try to just cover that up and then we'll go for the break. First, I'll come to you, and if you want, I can just help you out very quickly, and you can correct your code, right? Makes sense? I've done this and now go to the right class. You have some that one and you're following this multiple. I'm following it, right? You might do this one test. That's wherever this title, change it to text because I made a mistake. Text and text and set text. Set text. In the same day, you have to change it here as well. And then uncertainty. I think it's tough. 70 cents. Vertical. Yeah, I can do that. Now I have got the task over here. I produce a new ID. I and new task and I made this ID attached to the previous target. Last is coming with 3 minutes. I went the portrait data. After getting portrait, I said spread tasks. Move the tasks, spread them out. All the previous one, and just add the new one. That's it. Just add this new one. Now just go and run your program. Now add a task here. Yeah. Yes. And it's a beautiful thing. So there is a problem. That's correct. Oh, wow. Yeah, it does. But that means normally you think it's the pilot. Getting past everything. Really, we're on the same. Yes. Oh. He posted a programs. Then we don't watch this video. Hey, Ramadan, I think it's the for the file go. Yes, pick up the food. Yeah, I know, but the problem is the one I do want to teach you every time. I didn't use any of it. Yes, I think that's still nice. Yeah, but like. And test, see that exactly if it's showing you the idea. Oh, I got it. I just have to make sure. This is a problem. And restructuring the brain. This was the forget about the console, the remove the console. Let's say without any, now it should be done. Now go back and have a tap. Subject right? So try to understand. Anyone else would like to have quickly me have a look at the code? Do you want that? Or you are left too much behind? Here the button. Okay. With the color changing and everything, not wanted? Yes, right. Can you show so you're passing what did you task? So now they are just pass one left. We are trying to pass a hand me that fine. You know what I mean? Show that. We stand with the note. I don't know. What do you just for now? What should I do to determine so that in here you're going to set the so that so I don't see it from here on there. And equal to 30 packets. And now here, make a callback function. Now the packet work arrow make the arrow function. And now here write set student task. And see that. And this is like routed packet. And make it not square task. Whatever is that, it's not square task, right? Whatever is there, flip that. Save that. Go to header, right. We have received on it, we have received show it, that looks perfect. show ad, close and bring. This is also wonderful. Now you have not got this. Oh yes, on ad is also wonderful. Can you show me the button component now? See here, you have not received the on ad here. Receive on ad. You just need one move. Just come here and on click of this button before class or after maybe yes, right here on click, capital C on click equal to curly brackets and write on curly brackets. Yes. And right here on. But it's here, it's here. It's here. Wonderful. Now go back to the running application. Is it running right now? When did you run it last time?
Like I have.
It was running?
Yes.
It was filling the form?
Yes.
Can you go back to the and maybe stop this application? Yeah, yeah, control C. Yes, that's control C. Right. Now use arrow key and I want to run it again, right? Now click on this one. Control. When you put that console, make a drop. I'll be that's the problem. That's not. Please not in file. So please not. So you go to app.jsx now. It is the near the app.jsx. Yes. That's what it is. How much time? See that it's back? Everything's now back. Now if you click on this button, so this that it's doing the reverse. You might have just flipped that, but it's this side. You look at the code maybe here and there. No problem, no problem. All right, so let's take a break now, and we'll be back after 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll just discuss some more fun stuff after that. So let's take a break and we'll be back. This is on it, which is adding the task.
How we can